for EIDL forgiveness, that would need to happen. So if you've paid $50,000 toward your EIDL loan, that is going towards the principal. Many of you would feel much better off if that was the case, because there's three situations you could be in as an EIDL borrower. It's official. We are sending the EIDL forgiveness and EIDL relief petition over to the House Committee on Small Businesses and the Senate Committee on Small Business. And I'm going to share the three situations you could be in if you are an EIDL borrower. We're going to cross 5,000 signatures in the next few hours. If you want to support this initiative to help small businesses across the U.S., some of the 4 million businesses and entrepreneurs that are in your town, city, and state who've signed this petition. By the way, these are incredible to read stories from folks, hardworking entrepreneurs and business owners across the U.S., hearing their stories. If you want some inspiration and some motivation, take a few minutes and read some of these. Whether you know about the EIDL program or not, reading these for a few minutes will give you empathy. For the 10 to 15% of all U.S. businesses, those are folks who received a COVID EIDL loan and are likely still paying back interest, far from touching their principal, having a difficult time making any payments at all, let alone full payments. Before we go any further, if you need help with your EIDL situation or you just want to talk about what's happening, you can book a time to talk with our team. We've been helping hundreds of folks no matter what type of EIDL situation you are in. helloskip.com/expert-help or the link in the description. And if you want to sign this, go to EIDL.me. It's the last call to have your voice heard. You know, if you Google EIDL forgiveness, our videos are top. If you Google EIDL partial forgiveness, our videos are at the top. Or EIDL relief, same thing. We have the top results following the official SBA.gov websites. We've been covering the COVID EIDL program, other government programs, and grants for over 4 years now. We've helped hundreds of thousands of you navigate financing, not only these programs, but other funding programs. By the way, if you ever want to search for other financing options, see what's out there, such as SBA 7A loans, what are those programs like, versus private lines of credit, click search financing, and you can see what you're potentially eligible for. And you can also explore free money, all of the grants that we list. We add new grants every single day. There's 11 grants that are due soon, one due today, a $15,000 one due tomorrow. That's our $15,000 grant. And the cool thing now is if you could use $15K, I know all entrepreneurs could, no matter how large you are. You can get instant feedback on your answers to these questions before you submit the application. That's a brand new thing. One of our main goals, besides supporting entrepreneurs with trusted information, advocating on your behalf, is to make you better at fundraising. That includes making you a better writer. We tell you what's good and where you can improve on your grant applications. And you can scroll and see 9 more fundings that are due in the next couple weeks. I say this all the time. Every business owner is in a different situation. You might be in dire need of some funding today, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. You may not have an urgent need, but it's always best to know what's out there and keep your eyes and ears open. If there was a great $50,000 grant program specific to your state tomorrow, of course, you should apply for that. So that's what's happening in funding and grants land. And if you never want to miss out, turn on the grants auto apply here. We will enter grants for you, such as this. You can do that while we're pushing for some EIDL relief. You know, I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of business owners directly. I've heard your stories. We've incorporated a lot of that in this letter that we are sending to these folks in the House and the Senate, the leaders of both committees who have the power to advocate for change, either giving the SBA the green light to make certain decisions or getting congressional approval for some major decisions. For EIDL forgiveness, that would need to happen, but in some cases, the SBA has more leeway. I believe that is the case with, say, eliminating interest, because there's 3 situations you could be in as an EIDL borrower. One, you could be making regular payments, but chances are very good that you are still paying down interest because you had 30 months deferral from 2020 to sometime in 2022, and you've just been paying back the accrued interest since then. So you've put a lot of your hard-earned money just for that interest. The SBA could potentially say, we're going to wipe out interest, both forward-looking and backward-looking. So if you've paid $50,000 toward your EIDL loan, that is going towards the principal. Many of you would feel much better off if that was the case. The second situation you could be in is you're making partial payments. You enrolled in the hardship accommodation plan because your cash flow was tight, or frankly you had no other option. You could not make full payments and you didn't want to go into collections and default and have all the negative consequences associated with that. Perhaps you were already at the Treasury, but you got back out of collections and are making partial payments through the hardship program. The third situation, of course, is that you are at the Treasury or in collections, you're in cross-servicing, you can't get out of it, either because you don't have the money to get out of it, you're going to take the write-off and the negative consequences that come with that, or you're trying to get your loan back to the SBA so you can start to make some payments, but you're stuck at the Treasury. We still have not heard concrete directions from the Treasury. The last thing we heard is that the SBA needs to request the loan back, and I've shared some of those positive examples with you. But now is the time. It's the last call to sign this petition at EIDL.me before we send it off to the Senate and House Small Business Committees. Have you signed it? Do you plan to? Or does this not affect you? Let me know in the comments. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.